We need the encouragement of being together as one body, and even more so as we eagerly await the day when the Lord will return.
Welcome to Be Encouraged.
Today we're here at King's Lodge at Nuneaton in Warwickshire, and King's Lodge is the centre for Youth with a Mission, WYAM.
Yeah, so we've got some amazing stories coming today from WYAM.
The King's Lodge is part of Youth with a Mission, WYAM, and that's an organisation full of, it's a volunteer movement, international, made up of people from all over the nations, different cultures and backgrounds, whose heart is to serve Christ through knowing God and making Him known. So in coming to the King's Lodge, we seem to be anointed for training, evangelism and mercy ministries, and we use those things to equip people to share the gospel of Christ with the whole world.
It's inspirational to see young people who are sold out for God, and so we've got just a few testimonies for you.
Hi, I'm Grace. I'm at WYAM because when I graduated from university in 2006, I had done a degree in photography, and I really wanted to use my creativity to serve God, but I didn't know how to do that. And I always had a desire to travel. I really wanted to be a travel photographer. So that summer I went to a Christian festival and I saw that WYAM was being promoted there. So I followed that through, felt like it was something God was doing for my life. So I followed that through and I went and joined WYAM, and still wasn't really sure how photography was going to fit in with that. But I carried on following God's lead in that area and started traveling the world in missions. And there was one moment where I was on one of the WYAM ships, the Next Wave, and I was traveling around taking photographs of the ship, and there was an outreach team that was serving on board, and they were sort of doing things on board, and I was taking photographs, and I was in a dinghy taking photographs. And then I remember just at that moment realising that God had really answered my prayer to be a travel photographer, and I was doing like what I was made to do, and God brought me to the King's Lodge, more solid ground, and now I'm leading the media department here and showing other people around the world the hope that Jesus has given me through media and photography.
I've been in WYAM for about 8 years. I started off going to university, read economics at university, and worked in a bank for a couple of years before just deciding I wasn't ready for this career of an office with the same windows. And I ended up travelling to New Zealand and doing a DTS in New Zealand, and I was just blown away by who God was. I thought I knew this much about God, but I soon realised I didn't have a clue, and God began to build in me just an understanding of who He was and stirred my heart for the Bible. And I ended up doing a Bible school through WYAM and learning just who God is, what the Word says about who He is, and it just became real for me in my life and gave me a platform to stand on. And after that I realised that there were so many people that didn't know who God was. My heart was just burdened to share that, and through WYAM it equipped me to disciple people, to grow in sharing God's heart with people and ministering to those that are desperate to hear the good news of Jesus.
What's exciting is from here in the centre of England is something going out over the whole of the United Kingdom called Kingdom United.
Yeah, Kingdom United is an evening of celebration on New Year's Eve. It's where the churches, all of the town or city, come together to celebrate, pray and unite for the glory of God. In 2011, when I caught this vision after being in Uganda on a missions trip, and we landed on New Year's Eve, and I saw over 200,000 Ugandans on a small television praising, praying, worshipping God, and I was like amazed by seeing this. And a few months later, God put it into my heart saying, why not here in England? And so since then I've been pursuing this vision, and to see New Year's Eve celebrations in every town and city in the UK. I'm a passionate worshipper. I want to be known as a lover of Jesus, and through everything I do. We've had one in Nuneaton. That was our pilot event in 2012, where we had 15 churches represented and 9 church leaders came. And next year we're looking to put it into 10 different towns and cities, and and in 2014 we are wanting to work with Hope 2014 to put into 100 locations.
A discipleship training school, and it's open to people over the age of 18, and in doing that you study and learn about the Bible, about who God is, from teachers of different, again, backgrounds and denominations, and we see lives transformed through knowing God. Hurts and wounds from the past are healed, and people are equipped with God's heart for people to go and see societies and nations impacted for His goodness. So the second part of that school, we take teams to developing nations overseas, and we serve the local church, and we reach out to the poor and the wounded and those in need, and bring the love of Christ through mercy ministries or events or different aspects. Hey guys, I want to talk to you right now for a moment. Like, wherever you're at in your life, if you want to know more of who God is, if you don't know where to turn next, if you're just ready for an adventure in just knowing God and doing something significant in your life, then I want you to encourage you to think about WYAM and doing a DTS. It's changed my life. It's rocked it for the good, and I've seen it bring so much life to people and transformation to them. I urge you to look into doing a DTS near you. Come to the King's Lodge. We'd love to have you here and know God personally and make Him known. This is how life is meant to be, living life on the edge. It's for you. Do it today. Respect.
Lovely. Well, we filmed that first bit earlier in the year when we were up at the King's Lodge, and we were so inspired with those young people.
Absolutely. So we thought we'd better gather some more youth stuff for you. And now we're in a beautiful park in Ipswich in Suffolk.
It really does inspire me, that God is raising up more young people, the next generation, to do His will and to spread His word, doesn't it, you?
Absolutely. So over now to Jeff Cutts, a youth pastor.
At New Life Church, we really do value young people and children, and we really seek to bring them to a knowledge of Jesus, of a personal relationship with Him. There are some exciting things that go on, and in this very room we will run different groups, sometimes after school for boys and for girls, and they are sort of discipleship-based groups with activities that would suit them, with some food, of course, and things, but with the intention of introducing people to Jesus in a deeper way and helping them work out what it is to be a Christian and a young person, maybe in school or in college, and how to live for Jesus in these days. On Sunday evenings we have a youth group, and it's called Max Life. We've got some invitations here if you want to come. Max Life is for people who are like age 14 upwards, usually to 18 to 20, that sort of age. And here we we always start with a time of worship and prayer. We call it push, pray until something happens, And again, want to encourage young people to be able to find that way of connecting with God naturally, and to worship Him more naturally, to be thankful for all the things that He does in their life and does in them, and to be able to pray for each other and to pray for themselves. And then we try and have a teaching time and maybe a bit of a challenge and some games wrapped up in that, some illustrations. It's got to be a really welcoming place, our youth group, Max Life. And so we always, when we're speaking about the group, we say that some of us here believe in Jesus, because there are many actually who come and they don't yet believe in Jesus, but there's something about God which has caught their attention, and I'm excited about that. When I see young people who are exploring who is God real? Surely there must be something that will make more sense of my life and my future. On a Friday night, we have a group for younger teenagers called Rock Solid, which is a brilliant, awesome group really. It's like Saturday morning TV. You get there and there are lots of games and challenges, and there's video clips and there's short talks all around a theme, and the theme might be to do with relationships or accepting people or bullying, or it might be to do with making the most of your life. Finding purpose for your life. It can be all sorts of things, but the young people that come to that have so much fun, and it's a high energy thing. And I think, you're only young once, that's what they say. And I think you can have fun any age, but for teenagers, for young people as well, it's important that they're able to come and be together in a positive environment and really have that fun. Knowing God is fun, it's life to the full. And actually, I suppose, rock solid, when you think about it, if you discover all the things that you can about Jesus and you base your life on him and you find your faith in him, then he is a rock solid foundation for you as you grow up.
Take us out onto the streets till the streets resound with the sound of your name, with the sound of your name. We're stepping out onto the streets till the streets resound with the sound of your name. With the sound of your name, bring salvation. Bring salvation to this nation. Bring salvation to this nation. Oh, bring salvation to this nation. Bring salvation to this nation. Take us out onto the streets till the streets resound with the sound of your name. With the sound of your name. We're stepping out onto the streets till the streets resound with the sound of your name. With the sound of your name.
My name's Kelly Brunt and I work with a variety of different churches doing church consultancy and training up leaders for just different versions of our family. We're all one body, aren't we? So we all look a bit different and we're all going for the same cause. So it's just a real privilege to work alongside different people. So at the moment I'm just working with the Bowden Church, which has got a couple of different congregations, training up some of their leaders, some of their youth workers particularly, and just working on some development for pastoral care with them.
We actually got married on our 3-year anniversary, going out as a couple. So that was quite nice. It just worked out that way. I think it's about being selfless with each other, and I think our example is Jesus in everything. One of the things I always said when I got married was that I didn't want Maria to regret any day she spent with me. It's very soppy, but I think that's one of the things that I've learned from my dad dying when I was young, that life is too short to have any regrets, and if there's one thing I would not want, it would be to die and to regret how I treated my wife. So I don't. In the last 4 years, I don't have any regrets, and that's how I think we both live, isn't it? We try and love each other more each day.
Yeah, but we never go to sleep like after an argument and anything like that. We always like talk things through, and we make sure we have time for each other as well.
We do,
just
yeah.
Making sure that you always stop and just think, right, we need to have time together, and even that's just like taking a walk somewhere, or and I think it's important as well that we do things together in God as well as having our own thing. Like we try to pray together every day, and we started the cell group together, haven't we, and things like that.
We have, yeah. I think that's it as well. I think having a ministry together is important. I think obviously it's healthy to do separate things as well, but I think having a ministry together is a real blessing from God, something that you can share together that you do for Him. And that's something we hadn't done until recently. So we've been married for 4 years, hadn't really done anything together, but it's something that we noticed was definitely lacking in our relationship. And I think since we started to do the cell group, we've noticed we've got even stronger as a result of it, haven't we?
Yeah.
What I love about our relationship is that I feel the closer I get to God, the more I can actually love my wife.
Yes.
And what I like about our relationship, and I don't think this is common amongst all relationships, is that I think our love for each other actually grows as the years go by. We always look back, don't we? And we think, actually, we love each other more this year than we did last year. You know?
And it's more exciting as well.
It is.
We do, you know, life gets more exciting every
it
year,
does.
doesn't it? Yeah.
It does. And I think to myself, how can that be? Because I loved you pretty much the year before, but it gets better. And I want to be a better person because of Maria. And I think it's so sad to see sometimes young people, they think they found love, and it's just a flash in the pan thing, and it kind of, the love gets less and less and less as they go. And I think that's not right. It should be getting more, but it involves effort. It doesn't just happen. I don't think.
Work at it, don't you?
It does.
It's
I don't
just
think
working at it and making a decision every day, isn't it?
It is. Love doesn't just grow of its own accord.
It's wonderful to see these young people, and it's as if they're carrying the presence of Christ into their generation. Now we're going to the tabernacle where Jill Gower speaks on carrying the presence.
The ark had been captured by the Philistines, and so significant was this ark to King David that he knew when he took Jerusalem and made it the capital, he wanted to bring the ark to where God's city was. And he sent out people to go and fetch it, but unfortunately they did not follow God's instructions. This Ark of the Covenant was meant to be carried by the poles that you can see at the bottom, and it was to be carried by the Levite priests only. And unfortunately they took this Ark of the Covenant and they put it on a cart drawn by oxen to bring it back to Jerusalem. There was a moment when the ark looked like it was going to fall, and a man called Uzzah reached out to touch the ark to steady it, and he unfortunately fell down dead. And the reason being is because this God is a holy God, and this ark symbolized his presence, and Uzzah touched the ark in the wrong way. And it's a message for us never to touch the presence of God in the wrong way. We're to honour the presence of God. He is the Almighty. He is the Holy One. And perhaps we've missed some of this understanding of his holiness that the Israelites would clearly have known because of all the different stages in approaching God. And God is a holy, holy God. So when we want to engage and carry the presence of God, we have to carry his presence in the right way. He's looking for those with clean hands and a pure heart to carry his presence.
Hello, my name is Fran, and my favourite verse is Hebrews 13 verse 5. It says, I will not leave you nor forsake you. I like this verse in particular because it helped me when I was having bad dreams and having a bad moment, but through it all God was with me. Thank you very much.
So we've been working on Jesus Live all this week, and it's a mobile classroom unit, as you can see here behind us. And on this, students from secondary school talks about fear, forgiveness or rejection from a Christian viewpoint. It's a really good witness, and it's a way of being able to explain that we all have problems, even if we're Christians, but that God understands our problems and that he sent Jesus to deal with the cause of our problems. And also that God will listen to all those who will call on him. So we've had a great time in our two high schools in Congleton, and have met many, many young people, been able to invite them to our youth groups and things like that. It's great. So look out for the Jesus Live unit near you. There are two of these units. They go around the country to high schools, and they're very, very busy actually. For the past 13 years, since the year 2000, they have been visiting different high schools around the UK.
Finally, we've got Jack, another young guy, started to get sort of pushed out at school.
We're a pair, go above and below each other. So make sure you get the ones on the right side.
Hi, we've just been doing a lesson with the Jesus Live guys, and I saw one of my members of my youth club in there, and there's just a little story I want to share, in that she actually said at the end of one of our sessions that she had a toothache, and we believe Jesus heals, and we want to see Jesus just sort of crash in on everyone's life, because I can talk about him, you know, for all day, but we want to see him move in power. So we actually prayed for her, and we prayed that the pain would be gone, and I really wanted that pain gone, and that by the time she got home in like 10 minutes or so, that it would be completely gone without any medicine or anything. And the next week she came back and said actually the pain had completely gone, and she told her mum, and then she said she'd been telling everyone at school, and she said, you know, my tooth got blessed. And that's what we really want, is to see Jesus just healing people and touching their lives.
And there may be a few of you here tonight who don't believe in God, but I just want to tell you that God is real, that He's alive, and that He loves you, and He wants to know each and every one of you. But the sad and true thing is that we all do things wrong. We do things we regret we never done. I know I have. When I was in high school, I thought that to be cool was doing what my friends did. My friends were all emos, and so I decided to be emo, and I tried to cut myself because I thought that was cool, and I wanted my friends to accept me. My friends started smoking and drinking. I thought the only way for them to like me was doing the same thing, so I started doing that. I didn't care what my parents said, I didn't care what anybody said. You do something wrong in school, you get detention. And God's the same. When we do things wrong, He deserves to punish us. But He doesn't want to. So what God did, God sent Jesus, His Son, God with flesh on a rescue mission. He sent Him down to earth over 2,000 years ago. And Jesus came down and He said so many amazing things. And He did so many amazing miracles. But the best thing of all that He did was He died. He was brutally beaten to the point where He was unrecognizable. I mean, that's phenomenal. Like, unrecognizable. That's how much He was beaten. And He died on a cross. And as He died there, all of the bad things that you ever have done or ever will do died that day with Him. And 3 days later, He came back to life. And the truth is, we live in a messed up world. Things will always go wrong, and sadly, we will always do things wrong. But there is a God out there who loves each and every one of you, and He accepts you for who you are, and He will always forgive you no matter what you do. As I said, God is real, and He loves you, and He wants to be a part of your life. And if there is anybody in this room tonight who wants to accept God into their life, who wants to, or has known God in the past and wants to re-accept Him into their life, I want to give them the chance to do that today. Everyone has their eyes closed. It's a crazy big deal, guys. And I really recommend you do this. For those of you who are pondering it, I recommend you do it. Dear God, thank You for loving me. Lord, thank You. I'm sorry that I've done some things wrong. But thank You for sending Your Son, Jesus, to die for me. I choose to follow You. Amen.
I thought that was absolutely amazing, that GSUS, Jesus, and it's Jesus Live, and to think that this van's been going around the UK since the year 2000, just telling people about Jesus Christ, telling them that there is a God who loves them, there is someone who cares, there is someone to turn to when you're depressed, when you're wanting to cut yourself or take your own life or whatever. There is a person to turn to no matter what the difficulty that you're going through. And that really impressed me with how they've got all these school children coming in there and being able to learn.
Yeah, and some of them have gone back for the second and third time and really enjoyed it. I think that was, it's a good testimony to the whole project, if you like. And quite honestly, to see the facilities that van has and how they have the 3D glasses to put on and everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely amazing.
And what I liked too was when they finished watching the film, the person doing it presses a button and all these screens come out and they can choose which scenario, whether they want to take someone who's depressed or someone who's suicidal or whatever, and look at what the answers should be. That's very thoughtful, that, isn't it?
It's very cleverly worked out, yes. And I'm sure if you want to know more about it, go to the website. And also, if you want the van to come to your area, I'm sure that can be fixed up as well.
Yeah, and by the way, it isn't really a van, is it? It's a huge 40-foot trailer with an extension that doubles its width. But anyway, so if you want that to come to where you are, just get in touch. This is the website.
And there may well be schools in your area who will be interested in this. So why not talk to the head of your local secondary school?
I think taking teenagers away, like on a camp or for a retreat weekend or something like that, is really, really important. And the amount of time that you spend with them week by week and the conversations that you can have, they can be quite limited because of the program that you're in and things like that. And sometimes they come, sometimes they don't. But to have a group of people and to take them away, we sometimes go to a place called Aiken in Wales. And a beautiful place in Snowdonia. There's no phone signal, so when people get there, their mobile phones don't work, and they can suddenly engage with you in conversation and engage with the Word of God in the teaching times and things, and do that so much better. And we'll go for a long walk, maybe swim in the lake even. But these sorts of experiences, you can cover so much more ground. You can go into so much more depth with your group of young people by doing that. And similarly, Soul Survivor is a camp that we'll go to really every year now, and we'll take a group there. And such wonderful times of worship, the Word of God presented to young people in a way that's really relevant to them. We really appreciate that. And if we can find that actually many times that we work week by week with our young people, and we encourage them and we share the gospel with them, but it's at that sort of event like Soul Survivor, or maybe a weekend when we go away, that's when they really come to that point of commitment to Jesus themselves, and they make that step of faith.
I just love people to come alive in their faith and to live the message that they believe in and hold on to the truth that's in God's word and hold it close to their hearts and then live that out every day.
Well, thank you so much for being with us again this week. As happens so often, time gets out too quickly.
Yes, we've had quite a full programme and loads of young people for you today. Hope you've been encouraged like we were. We really thought it was great to meet all these youngsters and see what they're doing and the various programmes that there are for them.
And remember, these young people are carrying the presence of God. Remember that thing in the tabernacle of carrying the presence?
Yeah.
So as you walk your Christian life, remember, you carry the presence of Jesus Christ. Do it to others just to be an encouragement to them.
Yeah. And do remember, pray for your youth, pray for the youth leaders, and remember that God hasn't forgotten us as a nation. He's raising up new leaders in this country, and we're thankful for that.
We are indeed. So thanks for watching, and God bless.
God bless you. Bye-bye.